Hey, do you know what your values are in life? Now, you might be asking me, Eric, what do you mean by values? Do you mean ethics? Not necessarily ethics, but are the things that you're doing in line with your values? Are you working in a company that's in line with your values? Are you working with a team or do you run a business that's in line with your values? And I truly believe that if you are not doing something that's in line with your values, you probably aren't living the best version of your life. So if you're curious on how to live a life that's truly in line with your values, stay tuned and we'll chat all about it. Hey, what's going on, my friend? It's Eric. You can consider me your big brother or the modern mystic, and as always, I'm here to help you find freedom and abundance. And I've been reading this book. It's called Managing Oneself by Peter Drucker. It's a phenomenal book on really becoming more self-aware and becoming somebody that's living up to their highest potential. So before I get started on this video, I would love to hear from you. Are you living a life truly to your highest potential? If you are, or if you're not, there's no wrong or right answer. Put your response in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. And as we get started, if you could, I would invite you to smash that like button, because seeing that like button motivates me to keep making videos on a weekly basis to help us grow and develop as individuals. So in the previous videos of this series, we've talked about really identifying what your strengths are and how you perform. And what I'd love to talk about today is, what are your values? Now, some folks think of values as an ethics system, and they're kind of the same, but not really, right? Ethics is basically, is this the wrong or right? Is this, can I look at myself in the mirror kind of test? That's vastly different. Obviously, you're gonna want to be in a position where you're doing things ethically. You want to be able to go to sleep at night knowing you did the right thing. Because the reality is, we all know that money comes and goes, but our values and who we are as a person, right? Like our value system and our ethics is really important. So values is actually, how do you like to operate and what do you see as the ultimate potential for what you're doing? So here's a great example, right? So when I first got started in the tax and accounting practice, I started out owning a franchise called Liberty Tax Service, and I owned 4 offices at the time. And the whole idea with the Liberty Tax business, or this franchise retail tax model, was to bring in as many clients as possible, charge them as much as possible to realize a large profit. The problem was that wasn't in line with my values, because I started seeing myself as a commodity. I only saw myself as being a price-sensitive person, and I was just basically taking advantage of people who were earned income tax credit filers, the folks that come in early to get their tax refunds, so that way they could take that money and spend however they want to spend it. Nothing wrong with that decision-making process, although I don't totally agree with it. What I started realizing was my values were actually, I wanted to work with clients on a one-on-one basis. I wanted to mentor and guide clients on high-level strategic stuff, not just turn people in and out like almost like a carousel. The value system that I was doing in my old Liberty Tax business was not in alignment with my values as a person. I wanted to build relationships. I wanted to be a valued and trusted partner. I wanted to guide people to become the best version of themselves and the best version of themselves as business owners. So I sold my Liberty Tax Service offices, all 4 of them, about 6 years ago, and started a concierge tax and accounting strategy company. And now I have much smaller clients in terms of size. I used to have 2,500 clients before in this tax office, and that sounds great, but it was burning me out. Now I have a little bit under 100 clients, and I'm very picky, very self-selective on who works with me, but I'm so much more happy because my values are in alignment with my actual business. So now think about that in your own life. Maybe the company that you're working for, is it in alignment with your values in terms of how the company culture is, how the people interact with each other? Are they short-term gain focused or are they long-term gain focused? And there's no right or wrong answer, but it comes down to, what do you believe strongly in? And if you notice, as the company is making certain decisions, or as you as a business owner is making certain decisions, and it's going against your gut and you don't feel good about it, you're like, I don't know, man, this doesn't feel right in terms of my values. Maybe it's because what you're doing is not in alignment with your values. And I can almost guarantee you that if you are working in a business or working a job that's not in line with your values, it's gonna lead you to burnout. It's gonna lead you to dissatisfaction. So you're probably asking me at this point, Eric, how do I figure out what my values are? And to be honest, you probably already know what your values are. So what I invite you to do is write down your values in life in business and in your personal relationships. And what that means is your values in where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years, and how do you like to conduct yourself? Do you want to work in a business that's long-term oriented or short-term oriented? Do you want to work in a business or be part of a business that's oriented to maximize profits or to maximize people and relationships? And there's no wrong or right answer, right? There's a good example of two different churches. You had one church that their idea of success was how many new people would come through the doors on a weekly basis. Their growth level would determine their level of success. That was their value system. And we had another church, their belief was their success was based upon how many people would actually become diligent and studious to the Word of God in Jesus Christ. And I'm not a Christian, but I found this to be a really interesting example. Now, the church or organization that was focused on bringing people through the door obviously had a lot of turnover. They had a lot of growth, but a lot of turnover. So they didn't have consistent membership growth. Whereas the church that focused on turning their parishioners into those who are truly diligent in studying the Word of God, although their level of growth wasn't as massive, their staying power with the people inside their church was tremendously more strong than the other church. So determine what your values are by writing down what you truly believe in and where you want to go with things and what you will stand for. Really fall in the line with that. Now, when you're looking for a new job or you're looking at your existing job, just do the gut test. And as you read the job description or as you're working through it, ask yourself, does what I'm doing align with my values? Does it align with my beliefs? And as long as you're in alignment, you're in a great spot. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but you're in a great spot. If you're in a place where you always are double checking your gut and you realize that it's not in alignment with your values, maybe it's time to move on. And I'll close with that question. And that point of, if you're doing something that's not in line with your values, is it time to move on, or do you stick with it and grind it out? I would love to hear your thoughts on that question. Put your answers or your comments in the comment section below. And again, I'm reading from this book called Managing Oneself by Peter Drucker. I'll pop the link in the comments section. I would invite you to read it. It's like 56 pages, super short read, super easy. Anyway, my name is Eric. Consider me your big brother, your modern mystic. I'm here every single week, and I would love to have you join me on this journey. With that said, I make new videos here once a week. Smash that like button if you enjoy that video. Drop a comment if you are new here, and hit the subscribe button. So with that said, I'll see you again soon. Take care. Peace.